it was on the Satella view, which I believe was an add-on to the Super Famicom.
Anyway, we're going to get started after the mild digression about random hacks.
So we got a 5 on Hera and 2 on Eastern and a pendant. I didn't see which one on Desert.
I don't think it was the green pendant, so I think. Not sure. Yeah, so the first thing you may notice is that our runners have the boots. And this is because Overworld Glitches is a lot more fun with the boots. It makes clipping a lot easier, moving around the world, executing all of those lovely glitches and to enable the free movement through the world that we love so much in DC. And Ack is going straight for the frame route, going straight to Sahasrara. This is the densest Overworld Sphere 1 location, actually, so going to Sahasrara is a fairly popular move. Meanwhile, Fuzzy goes to Kakariko first, skips Bonk Rocks, which... Oh, it was a green pendant, okay. So Fuzzy did skip Bonk Rocks. Looks like Ack is going to get it, so we will see what's in there. Hopefully not anything too critical.
And it's a bee in a bottle, so unless a bottle shows up in Kakariko, Fuzzy will not be able to check Sick Kid the first time around. So that still could be critical.
At best case scenario, it will be a minor routing inefficiency, going to have to come back at some point to get the bottle. Axe bush crab spitting a bomb into an inaccessible location behind the tree. So far, nothing of consequence really in Kakariko. We do have silver arrows on the Lumberjack though, so we are most likely going to, actually, almost definitely going to see Silverless today.
And there's the bow, so we've got an early bow in the well.
And a sword, that's always convenient. So with that bow and sword, Fuzzy will probably be heading over to Eastern Palace after this. Same as you would do in a no glitches randomizer. We haven't seen any of the glitches yet, but they will almost certainly come into play in just a minute or so. Yo, EP map wrap. Let's see it. I don't think Fuzzy knows EP map wrap, honestly. Also, it's scary.
Yeah, I like to call the when the game gives you an early sword, I like to call it the courtesy sword because it just makes things so much easier.
And a blue mail, that's nice. Always good to have safety. Ack, what are you doing? Oh, that's a water walk. So Ack is setting up a water walk, actually. I don't know what he's planning to do with this. The only nearby water source is this one that will let him actually go to Lake Hylia. So this is interesting routing.
Yeah, this is something you can do even in non-overworld glitches. Not a lot of people use it because you generally don't have the boots this early, so that's why you never really see it. And Fuzzy setting up that desert area clip.
Yeah, so this is the first instance of a major glitch that we've seen. So the runners can press the D-pad to go left and then press A at the same time, which will let them buffer movement into the wall. And because this game is coded really badly, you can just kind of go into the wall. And on a particular pixel on the wall, the game actually tries to either force you far upwards or downwards because you are tricking the collision detection. It looks like he soft-locked. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, it looks like he was attempting to map wrap, because it looked like it was an intentional screen wrap.
Yeah, if you want to do Eastern map wrap, you actually do have to come from above. There isn't a teleport that will let you get on top. And Ack is doing some interesting routing here and is dodging crabs and octoroks and fireballs. I'm gonna use that B, take down the mini Moldorms fairly easily, though still 2 remaining.
Princess Zelda #1 asking in chat, can you hard lock in a map wrap? And the answer is that's most definitely yes.
Yeah, map wraps are considered some of the coolest tricks because they get you across the world really quickly, but also some of the most dangerous because they're really easy to hard lock.
And finding today's hype cave in Mini Moldorm, we got Samaria, Hookshot, and the Moon Pearl.
Ack, what the heck are you doing? Where are you going? What is this routing? I've never seen this before. I don't know where he's going.
He's going.
And FuzzyGames will also be picking up those 3 lovely items.
I think he got the Moon Pearl, so he wanted to go and check Zora area. I think that's what this was.
I mean, that makes sense, I guess. But Moon Pearl... He's gonna get another B from the fairy, unfortunately.
Not even gonna check Zora.
Or the ledge item. Both of those are in logic right away, because we do account for all the minor glitches, such as fake flippering and water walk.
So he's going over to Hobo. And Hobo's got 5. This route is a galaxy brain route. We don't know what he's doing.
This is something. I'm confused, but it doesn't seem like actually. Okay, well, here's the thing: is that it requires tracking across South Shore twice. Which is not necessarily bad because you have boots, but it's also kind of scary with low health and no sword. Okay, so FuzzyGames is now performing a clip called Death Mountain Ascent. So what he's going to do is clip into this wall, trick the collision into forcing him upwards in an upwards teleport. Then he will transition to the right, which sends him onto the Death Mountain screen. Fix the camera so that it doesn't take 2 minutes to enter a cave. And go into the Old Man Cave. Yeah, the cack is for losers. Yeah, this is extreme cack avoidance plays.
And Fuzzy going to rescue the old man, kicking up some dust to basically light the way, and Act looks like he's finally going to hit Kakariko Town area here.
Interesting choice to not use the sword in the Dark Room, actually, since that is the typical strat if you have a sword. But he is going to make it out just fine. So note that the Dark Room is still a sequence break. So if this item was progression, it would still not be in logic without the lamp. So now Fuzzy is on Death Mountain. And here we have a Hera clip. So you can jump off the bottom of the mountain and then you're at the top of the mountain. Because that makes sense. So we are now in Tower of Hera in 9 minutes.
And that small key means that we are locked out of Hera. So, unique item in Paradox Cave. Fuzzy can get there.
Yep, we'll have to come back to Hera later. That is not a concern, though, considering how easy it is to get to Hera. As you have just seen, you can just jump off the bottom of the mountain whenever you want. So here's another clip. This one is called Turtle Rock Climb. Do a downwards teleport, do some weird fiddly movements to push yourself over, and now you on what we affectionately call the DM land bridge. From there, you can go straight to East Death Mountain.
Yeah, when they were constructing Hyrule, they left that convenient scaffolding in so that we can get across.
Fairy's having none of FuzzyGames' business. Is gonna fly away up to the mountain where he can't get it. And Acktheboker is finally going to head into Kakariko, clear it out, get the bow.
Alright, so we're going to see what unique item is in Paradox. Meanwhile, Ack is headed over to the eastern area.
There are actually several other ways to get over to Eastern than the sort of base way. You can actually do a map wrap from Kakariko, which is what Baliame is whining about in the chat, since he wants to see fun glitches. There's also a Death Mountain descent method that you can do to get to the Witch's Hut, which will then take you right away to Eastern Palace out of that. So that would be a very efficient method for FuzzyGames to get to Eastern.
We got a glove. So Quake and a glove in Paradox Cave. So Quake would be our unique item. That glove is going to be very nice. It's going to help a lot with accessibility, and it probably will be required at some point. There's a good chance that one pair of gloves is required. Necessarily don't need the Titan's mitts, though.
We have a bottle. You literally don't need the Titan's mitts ever if you have a bottle. Ooh, Zora DMA, very nice. Sorry, Zora DMD. Zora DMA is very different entirely. But we will get to see what is on Zora Ledge, just 50 rupees. And we will also get to see what is on the Scamfish himself.
And Ack is in Eastern. We'll see what's on this hint tile here, and it is the hammer is in a chest, requiring a specialist to unlock.
Good
that
lord.
That means hammer is in purple chest.
And hey, we just got the mitts on King Zora, which are the logical requirement to get to the hammer. Oh no. No, not another mitts required seed. I've seen too many of these. No. Hopefully, FuzzyGames will go to Eastern Palace eventually, since he does have the bow, which makes it a very appealing play. Go clear out a crystal dungeon. Instead, it looks like he's actually going to go to the Dark World. And we get to see the pendant layout. We've got a pendant in Palace of Darkness and in Swamp Palace, with the other red crystal being in Misery Mire.
So with those gloves and the hook shot, Fuzzy is going to go over to East Dark Death Mountain, and Ack finding another bee in a bottle. This is a bee seed.
Yeah, you could always try and route it with, you could try and route Pod and Eastern together, but you don't have the mirror necessarily yet. And given Ack knowing where the hammer is, also Ack picked up the mirror. I have no idea where he did that. I think probably somewhere in East. So that's actually really interesting, since we know where both of the gloves are.
Yet
But
another
Ack...
B.
Wait, so Ack has gotten... So what? All the bottles are Bs, is that it?
I believe so.
Wait, Bottle Vendor had Mirror? Did Fuzzy not get Bottle Vendor? I guess he didn't, because if he got it, then he would have gone into Dark World first before doing T-Rock Climb, right? Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, Fuzzy may not have had the money, but does have an advantage here, though, being ahead in terms of having those gloves.
Yeah, Ack does know where the hammer is. He doesn't. He probably won't get the mitts for a while, considering that he got Waterfall Fairy but not Zora.
Yeah, but there are a couple ways that you can get to the blacksmith, one being a YBA and the other being a mirror jump, where you basically have to hit the mirror on the same frame as that you start a jump off the ledge nearby the blacksmith, and it'll just kind of, you have to do it a few times, but it'll just kind of creep you forward.
It's actually really easy if you have the boots, since you can quick hop actually to do the mirror jump, and so you just hit A and Y at the same time. You know, that probably makes the multi-mirror jump method for that viable. Anyway, FuzzyGames is now in the main part of the Dark World, having performed a glitch that we call Death Mountain Descent. Gets you off of Dark Death Mountain and down into the main part. So even though he does have mitts, he can still jump off the mountain that way, which Ack will have to do if he wants to go to the Dark World.
Oh wait, there's our fourth bottle. This one wasn't a B. So, Baliame pointing out that it would be beneficial for Fuzzy to die in Thieves Town here, because when you do a DMD in such a way, it basically puts you in fake Dark World. So if you die in a dungeon, you'll end up back in the Light World once you screen transition out of that area.
I mean, you're not in fake Dark World until you actually die.
Yeah.
This is completely normal. This is real Dark World. Once you actually die in a dungeon, the game tries to put you in Light World because you haven't defeated Ganon 1. That's actually disabled for the regular randomizer. The regular no glitches, but we re-enable it here because it enables for either messing up all of your routing or allowing for some creative routing. And so Ack is doing DMA now, heading up to the mountain. Ooh, that's some low health on Fuzzy's side.
And Ack is headed up the mountain, so we'll be able to get at least one pair of gloves here.
Yeah, he doesn't have nearly enough. Ack, just hold up. There you go. You're fine. So if you press down while you're doing hair clip in that method, you'll actually wedge yourself slightly into the wall. And so if that happens, you can actually hold up and you'll do a little jump out. But it appears initially that you are soft-locked, and soft-locks are a thing that happen with moderate regularity in overworld glitches, depending on your skill level.
depending on how Fuzzy wants to route this, I wouldn't be surprised on intentionally dying to get back into the light world to check Sick Kid.
Good job, Ack. Your reward is knowing that Graveyard Wedge is useless.
But either way, if Fuzzy doesn't want to be back in the light world, it's on a heart and a half. That's definitely a little bit spooky.
I am actually interested in knowing whether Ack knows the gloveless Smith setup, actually. How did Fuzzy get to the Dark World? In the same way that Ack is doing right now.
Interesting thing about that clip right there that Ack just did, you have to. I'm not sure if you have to dash up or if you just move up.
You have to bonk the wall.
Okay, yes.
Both to set your subpixel correctly and also so that you don't hard walk with an upwards transition.
Yeah, because if you hit down straight after that, yeah, you'll hard lock yourself.
Okay, so wait, Fuzzy died in Thieves and then left.
So Fuzzy wanted to stay in the Dark World, I guess.
Okay, I'm really hoping, for Fuzzy's sake, that there isn't anything in Swamp Palace, since it's the only place that is really walked by, Mire in Overworld glitches.
Or maybe is Fuzzy gonna go to Catfish? We do have some Mario, so maybe a Turtle Rock dive?
No Fire Rod. That's pretty rough. And it'll be... I don't think Fuzzy knows the method of getting to Laser Bridge without the mirror, at least. You think Pod? Maybe. Maybe Catfish Pod.
So, yeah, and Turtle Rock Dive here is interesting. There's not much to access. You just pretty much got Chain Chomp Room and the Lava Chest if you want to fight that Pokey.
Yeah, T-Rock is not super great if you don't have Fire Rod, honestly. Or at least it's not great in the in-logic method, which is to go in through that entrance. If you're willing to break logic a little bit, you can get in through the Laser Bridge entrance, actually, which will open up a lot more checks, plus make the dungeon generally just faster by going through in reverse. But also, that clip is hard and doesn't work half the time for no good reason.
So Fuzzy is going to battle for the Lava Chest. If they pull out the big key, that'll open it up a bit more. But yeah, without that Fire Rod.
Okay, so we can explain the terms hard walk and soft walk here. So a soft walk is a situation where you can't move or make progress, but you can still save and quit out. So for example, if you get trapped inside of a wall, that's called a soft walk. If you have a hard walk, then it's impossible to even save and quit at all, which means that you actually have to hard reset your game, and you lose all of your progress since your last save. So for example, hitting a transition from the wrong side usually results in a hard walk. Ack's the one who already has mirror. Dang, I thought Fuzzy was there getting mirror, but nope. Just selling a B.
And I know a thing or two about hard locks. And just the maps, so Fuzzy can check one more chest. Has a small key to do that. So, if there's nothing here,
Ooh, that's a bottle. That's a potion. Ack, are you gonna do a YBA? Am I gonna be really excited? Please do a YBA. Okay. So if Ack does a YBA, I get to explain things really fast and be really excited. Come on, man. No, that's not a YBA. Okay, he needs money for digging game. That's fair.
Okay, Fuzzy picking up the big key, we'll be able to progress to the big chest and the crystal roller room. If there's a small key, could get all the way to Laser Bridge.
Ack missing all of these arrows in the archery game. There is a very consistent strat. Okay, no YBA yet. No YBA yet, but he wants to get digging game first. That makes sense. Okay, he's checking race game. Or going to desert, I guess. Maybe he's checking the fact that he already got race game or something. So okay, so these runs usually last roughly around the same time as a regular seed. However, they have more variance. So a good seed in Overworld Glitches usually runs you around 120 to 125, so it's a bit faster. A bad seed, however, can run you for longer than in no glitches because it's easier to just check a ton of locations. No, Ack's not doing the YBA. I'm so sad now.
I guess we know how to troll you. Just buy a potion for no good reason.
It's like he knows where the hammer is. He knows he needs it. And he knows that you... Actually, I don't know if he knows you can do a YBA there. I will explain how the YBA works. So, essentially, if you use a potion into a screen transition, it changes the screen, basically, that the game thinks that you're on. And so, what you can do, actually, is YBA into the transition, going down from the frog, and it will change the collision on the screen, so you can actually get the frog without the mitts.
And Fuzzy taking the death on Laser Bridge, deciding whether or not to go back for that last chest.
Electing not to. You
But
will be back.
Yeah, did pull the sword out of there, so that is a valued prize at least.
Yeah, this seed is going pretty interestingly. Ack has not yet been to East Death Mountain at all, even though he can full clear the entire thing, excepting Mimic Cave.
So Pyramid Fairy has just some cash, and we will not require Pyramid Fairy.
Also, Ack has not gotten these chests yet. That is an interesting route indeed that he is going on here.
It's honestly, I feel like when you can tell the difference between someone who is very well versed in overworld glitches and someone who knows overworld glitches but is, just a normal runner. And because I feel like Ack is kind of making routing decisions as he would in a non-glitch setting, sort of, but is kind of trying to throw glitches in there.
I don't know what Ack's doing. The water walk thing was so weird that it's just kind of changed his entire routing. I don't know if he planned to do that or something as a gamble play, but it just kind of makes getting to different locations a little bit weird. though we will finally get to see an Uncle Chuck.
Yeah, in Overworld glitches, a lot of times Hyrule Castle is left behind for quite a while.
Alright, and we will be seeing the all-important Misery Mayo medallion right now. It is the Quake medallion, so we need to get the Quake medallion to get that crystal. It is absolutely, completely required. There is no way around it that is allowed within the rules, and even ways around it that are not allowed within the rules are still pretty difficult.
And yeah, that Quake medallion is in Paradox, which Ack apparently did not go to when he went up to Death Mountain.
Nice items.
Alright, so Ack picking up the big key. So, Handpan's Live asks, what glitches are not allowed? Basically, any major glitches in dungeons and the underworld.
Alright, so where are our runners going to go now? We've got FuzzyGames heading for Back of Escape, so he's going to finish up that. Looks like Ack to me is going to be heading out of Misery Mayo now, or at least getting Agina while he's here. But he did drag the portal with him, which means that he is probably going to be leaving Misery Mayo by way of a clip. Oh, that's a book. So book unlocks tablets, as we are all aware.
And the ability to read PED.
That's not gonna happen, right? That is not going to happen, I hope. Only thing that can be there is Ice Rod.
Good old Ice Rod.
And I guess Fire Rod, but that's unlikely. Ack, you're gonna hard lock, or soft lock, if you do that. Alright, he's soft locked. I am a tree. Oh man. Ack has become one with the foliage, and is forced to save and quit because he can't move.
So...
and also doesn't have gloves, so he can't lift the rock.
Ack is headed back up the mountain, and are we going to see him head over to the east side?
Sure hope so, because there's a lot of stuff in there.
I mean, he doesn't... At this point, he doesn't even have to glitch over there.
That's true, he doesn't.
So, Fuzzy finding the cape on a tablet, and Ack is going to glitch over from the Dark World side, so...
Yep, T-Rock climb is better. Lets you clear out the entirety in one go.
Yep.
So if he did not go from the Dark World side, he would have to make 2 separate trips since he does not have the mitts. So, Ack finally clearing out East Death Mountain. Looks like Fuzzy is actually going to be heading into Ganon's tower. So, jump off the bottom of the mountain, and now in Ganon's tower. No crystals required.
Yeah, can't check a whole lot. Doesn't have a fire source or the hammer, so we'll be able to check about 4 things.
And one of those things is tile room, unfortunately. Alright, I hope Ack knows the hookshot cave clip, actually, because that is in logic now. It used to not be, but then a certain someone managed to make a bunch of changes to the system and then accidentally introduced hookshot cave clip. So now it's required, and we all have to learn how to do it. What hookshot cave clip does is it lets you get into hookshot cave without the glove. Obviously not required because he's going to be getting the glove here, but he doesn't know that. Fuzzy trying to outrun the bunny beam. Unfortunately, it follows you pretty closely, so he is going to get bunnied. Alright, and Ack is going into Paradox Cave. He's going to pick up his gloves and his Quake Medallion now, so those will be 2 very useful items. Quake Medallion in particular will allow him to go into and complete Misery Mire, and he knows there's a unique item in there.
The base beast mentioning that the big key guessing game is kind of ruined in Overworld glitches, and yeah, because at pretty much at any time we could have runners just walking into GT and checking some stuff, and sometimes you check GT a few times for items.
You haven't played Overworld glitches until you've dipped GT 4 times in a seed. And it turns out that none of them were required. You only had to do it once. So Ack now has his gloves and Quake. Though it looks like he's trying to head for a hookshot cave now.
And Fuzzy doing another DMD.
Oh, is he getting the frog? No frog. Just gonna do some stuff.
Gonna do dig game. Speaking of dig game, Ack picking up that shovel.
So Fuzzy is actually completely out of magic, so he's gonna be able to grab a little bit from the digging game, which will be useful if he decides to go into Misery Mire.
And Ack is headed into Turtle Rock. Will be disappointed as to what they find here. I mean, an extra sword, that's about it. Maybe there's something in that last chest on Laser Bridge that Fuzzy didn't get to. And what a shame that would be if there was. And Fuzzy clearing out Hype Cave. Although we've already had our Hype Cave in the scene, and that was Mini Moldor.
Yeah, Fuzzy is being really hampered by the lack of a mirror, honestly. Since the mirror is especially powerful in overworld glitches, it gives you a lot of routing potential. Since not only do we have the freedom to move across the entire game ignoring walls, but we can also ignore the barrier between light and dark worlds. So that actually helps routing even more than it does in a regular no glitches seed.
Not to mention just, the passive benefit of being able to switch, between the light or go back to the light world from the dark world at different points. Sometimes in overworld glitches, just because you can do a glitch doesn't mean it's the fastest thing to do.
So Ack is going to continue to laser bridge now, where he will pick up a sword and an unknown final chest. And Fuzzy is checking the Maya medallion, sees that it's Quake, is going to go inside, so he does not have a fire source. This might be not completable.
I don't know about you, but what I've come to find about overworld glitches is that fire sources are really annoying to find.
Oh yeah, they are just trash. Though right now the hardest block for Ack is not being able to get those mitts. He does have a couple of different ways to get them, actually. He's got the mirror, he's got bottle, but those are some pretty advanced strats. They're not considered in logic. So the smith, and by extension the purple chest, does logically require the Titan's mitts.
Well, one thing he could do, which probably I don't know if it'll happen from here, is if he jumps down to Catfish, he could mirror back and check those.
Yes, that would be certainly a viable option. I think when he does go to Catfish eventually, he will do that. My guess as to why we haven't cleared Thieves is that we can just get overworld stuff. And Ack also knows where the hammer is, does not want to go into Thieves Town without the hammer.
So many runners avoid Thieves Town like the plague when they don't have the hammer. Just like me when I avoid Eastern without having the bow and get burned by Eastern every time.
Fuzzy is currently suffering from a lack of health. Fortunately, he will pick up his unique item, which is the Cane of Burna.
And with the amount of magic that he has, it'll help him for all about half a second.
Actually, maybe even 0 seconds, because there is a startup cost associated with Cane of Burna. Oh, that fire snake almost got him. Ack, what are you doing? Why are you mirroring? What the heck?
Well, Ack is going to pick up that cape.
And Fuzzy is going to leave Misery Mire.
No.
I don't think he got the big key, so it's probably on the firelocked side, and he's unable to get it? Question mark?
Yeah. So where is Ack headed?
there's not much left over on East Death Mountain except maybe going to Catfish, and by extension, Zora. That does actually look to be what he's doing.
Yeah, he doesn't have proper Dark World access, so looks like to be the kit play.
Meanwhile, Fuzzy's going to head over, okay, not going to head over to Desert Palace because he has remembered that he does have the shovel. Alright, what does Catfish have?
Change of clothes.
And Ack is going to take that red mail and mirror over to Zora. So he is finally going to get those Titan's Mitts that he isolated a long time ago. And we like to meme about Titan's Mitts and say that they're useless, but they do serve occasional, very rare uses.
And logically, they are required for Ice Palace and.
Okay, no one cares about that. If you're gonna run Overworld, which is you have to learn the mirror wrap. It's like required.
I know, but I always like to point out the logic.
Oh boy, so there's the mitts. Akka's just standing there and like, oh goodness gracious. Could have had those a long time ago.
Here's something interesting, Fuzzy... Nope. If there was something big in that, that could have been bad for Ack because that's going to be one of those checks that's going to be unchecked for quite some time.
I mean, he's got mirror. He might even check it when he's going over to get the smith, actually, since it's a quick clip down and a clip back up.
But I know what he's going to be doing is definitely going to be getting that hammer.
Yeah, and that hammer will open up a bunch of things. We'll be able to fully clear Thieves Town, so I expect that to be one of the things that he does right away afterwards.
We still don't have flippers, so we're going to be looking for those for us.
No, we won't. Unless we actually need to go to Swamp.
Yeah, unless we need to go to Swamp. Let's see. We do need the Fire Rod or Bombos.
We need Fire Rod, absolutely, for Skullwoods.
Oh, yeah.
And we need Ice Rod for Turtle Rock. And actually, that is it. So we need rods. Well, that's for Ack, at least. Fuzzy still needs to pick up the hammer, obviously. He doesn't know where that is yet, I believe.
Yeah, and the longer it goes, the more I wonder if Fuzzy has forgotten about it.
Well, I think honestly it's just I don't want to do the smith without the mirror because just that takes so freaking long. Like the only reason Ack is doing the smith right now is in the mirror is because he knows that the purple chest has the hammer. Like there's just no reason to do it otherwise.
No, I was talking about that mirror on the bottle vendor.
Oh yeah, that too. Although so far mirror hasn't locked anything. We haven't seen any entry into Swamp Palace. Yeah, the hints are just hints. Where was that hammer hint anyway? Wasn't it in Eastern? And Fuzzy still has not gone into Eastern.
Yep.
Alright, that's the hammer for Ack. He will now be able to complete Thieves, and probably complete Ganon's Tower.
So Ack is going to clip up to Bombos and give it a read. And it's just a piece of heart.
Not going for Checkerboard Cave. Maybe he forgot about it, but honestly, that's okay. It doesn't really have anything useful.
Fuzzy gonna give us a look at King's Tomb here.
Yeah, Ack got King's Tomb earlier using the mirror, although there is actually a way that isn't in logic that you can use to get King's Tomb without anything except for the boots. That's all you need. It's also much easier if you have a sword, but you don't really need that.
So I think we're seeing that Thieves Town play from Ack here. Meanwhile, Fuzzy is headed to Sick Kid.
Maybe also going to activate the flute while he's here. He has the flute, right?
If he did, I missed that pickup.
Okay, he's just gonna run right past the bottle vendor once again.
Yeah, at this point, Fuzzy has definitely forgotten about Bottle Vendor. There'd be no reason to walk past it at that point.
Yeah, my hope honestly is that there's nothing mirror locked, because Purple Chest isn't actually mirror locked, it's just really crappy. So hopefully, he doesn't actually have to go into Swamp Palace.
And in overworld glitches, couldn't some things be locked by the mirror using, like, where you'd have to use a mirror-specific clip?
No, because we have the Moon Pearl. The only things that actually matter for that is if you don't have Moon Pearl. So the mirror clips that are in logic are the ones to get off of Death Mountain. I know that you're familiar with that one now. And the mirror clip that is used to gain access to Turtle Rock without the Moon Pearl. And so if you have the Moon Pearl and the boots, then mirror clips are essentially irrelevant.
Gotcha. Well, that's a nice hit to have. Left side swamp.
Especially considering Swamp's a pendant, so if Ack manages to find the flippers, he will be able to rush through the dungeon, clear out the whole thing, not have to worry about left side. And since Fuzzy's up here too, he may be able to do the same. I did not check if he got the hint. Okay, so the small key is in the big chest. That means Fuzzy is safe for this dip, does not have to worry about coming back in to get an item in the hammer-locked big chest.
Yeah, but so far, nothing of note here in Thieves Town, so we're gonna wonder where the progression is.
My guess is the progression is in Ganon's tower, because that's where it always is. Except when it's not, which is about, like, 10% of the time, and then you get really sad.
Yeah, I would say either GT or Pod at this point has something.
Yeah, Pod is possible, but I wouldn't go there first, just because it's a pendant. Like, if it was a crystal, I'd prefer Pod.
Yeah. But in situations like these, like, well, GT is obviously a big wild card, because there could be any number of things there, but, you know, in a situation like this, Pod usually has something. Even if it's just the lamp.
Hey, lamp matters right now. And it's a fire source, and we still don't have one of those. So both runners are now done with Thieves Town. FuzzyGames is continuing to put off Eastern Palace and the Insta Hospitala. And it looks like he's not going to be going there anytime soon. Heading back to the mountain.
It looks like Ack is going to do Mire. Oh, and checkerboard and Mire.
And FuzzyGames getting soft locked, unfortunately, doing the Graveyard Wedge clip. Fortunately, that is one that is not too bad to just retry. Save and quit, go back out the old man, try again. What? You cannot do that, no. You will land in the trees and become stuck.
I am the Lorax, I speak for the trees.
Alright, just gonna go for Hera. Okay, Fuzzy's go- wait, why are you going back to GT? There's literally nothing in there for you. You already did everything you could. That's not gonna work. You can't do that. No. That's very dangerously close to a screen transition. I think FuzzyGames is trying to replicate something that has been seen before. However, he is now too far to the right to make it work. He will have to go down. Yeah, that should work. So this is a pretty old thing actually. So if you jump off the ledge to the left and then right, you can actually fix the screen and do a fake flipper. So I assume that this was his goal.
Yeah, but to me, I don't know. That just unless you're well versed in it, that seems very dangerous to do. I'd rather just be safe and do the catfish jump.
Yeah, that's definitely you want to be very familiar with the glitches that you try to employ. I have learned this lesson myself. Do not do glitches without practicing it beforehand. It is not enough to see someone do a glitch on Restream and say, "Oh, that looks easy. I can probably do that in my next race." No, you should practice it, or you will fail and you will hard lock, and you will be sad.
That's how I hard locked in my race. I just did stuff, and then I paid for it.
Wait. Does Ack have the big key? He does. Wait, how did he get it? Wait a second.
Wait.
I call shenanigans.
I guess Fuzzy died, and didn't want to go back in? I guess that was the case? I suppose that's why Fuzzy ended up leaving, is because they died to a shooter. Must have had the big key.
Okay, yeah, I mean, the dark room is also pretty scary. So without decent weapons, etc., probably don't want to risk going all the way to Vitreous, and then dying and having to redo the whole dark room.
Yeah, and Fuzzy had much less health. I think about 8 hearts max at that point. And that Samaria switch room can be difficult if you're not really good at that dark room.
Fuzzy exploiting the rare turnaround hint tile reading, which is rarely seen because it's completely useless.
A hint so nice, he read it twice. And Ack using the good old cape strats on Vitreous.
I mean, what he really should do is just... damage boosting is faster, but this is a lot safer. So you can spam the sword here and not take magic drain, or at least slow down the rate a lot. So you can see that the cape lasted for way longer than it usually does there.
And rewarded with a key, so it looks like there is an item on the Firelock side. Unless we got both, I wasn't paying attention.
I think that we probably have to get an item on Firelock's side. And FuzzyGames taking a Death Warp in pod. Going off the red berries, an interesting choice since they only deal half a heart to blue mail. Yeah, going down to the south and using the spikes in the conveyor room would have been about twice as fast because they deal double damage.
And Ack doing our good old... Oh, looks like he might be doing... Is he doing Pyramid Fairy?
Heck no, he's going to GT. So you can actually do this clip even if your camera's broken, since you can get the right collision here. Although, he should really switch to the hookshot, makes it faster.
Yeah. But Ack is going to show us what's in GT.
Yeah, we did not get to see what was on the entire left side because Fuzzy did not have, and still does not have, the hammer.
Fuzzy picking up the third sword, so that's a nice prize there. At least gonna be rewarded with that. Definitely gonna want that bacon at least for Silverless.
Yeah, since Silver is on Lumberjack, definitely not going to get that. Where's the hammer? It is in Purple Chest. Ack got a hint for the hammer in Purple Chest in Eastern Palace, and Fuzzy has not yet gone to Eastern, although my guess is that he will go to Eastern shortly after a pod. Or not, okay. And those are flippers. Oh no. Flippers are not an item that we want to see for Fuzzy's sake. Having abandoned the mirror at Bottle Vendor and seemingly having forgotten entirely about it, the flippers unlock Swamp Palace, which is locked by the mirror.
But again, GT is the what would you call it? The home for lost items. So, I mean, it could just be that they're there.
Oh yeah, honestly, like Fire Rod, I saw just lying around in GT somewhere. I would not be surprised. Well, there's a lamp. So that is finally, at an hour and 5 minutes in, we've got our first fire source.
But that does mean that the mirror is required for lamp. And if the fire rod is locked behind the lamp, then the mirror is required.
How is mirror required for lamp again?
Well, I guess not. I guess not. Never mind. I'm thinking too hard. You must excuse me.
Well, you are excused. For it is entirely understandable that Fuzzy would not want to do the purple chest without the mirror. However, it appears that he will shortly be forced to do so. And Ack coming in with a beautiful Ice Armos, finishing them off with a nice, clean strat. Oh god, there's the Fire Rod. And still no big key, so... the big key is in the Compass Room.
And I would imagine that Ack may just finish off GT here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There is zero reason. Oh, okay, there's the hint. The hammer is in a chest requiring a specialist to unlock. So yes, the GT big key is hammer locked by virtue of not being able to cross the right side with the fire source. I mean, mostly I'm concerned that Ice Rod could be in Swamp Palace, because that would be exceptionally, incredibly bad for Fuzzy.
Yep, I thought that was going to happen on X. I decided to go grab the extra magic mid torch lighting party, and I figured that was going to take a lot of time out.
He'll be able to make it this time, though. It will significantly reduce his magic count for the GT climb coming up, though.
Unless we get a convenient half magic here.
Ooh. We already got a clutch full heal. No half magic, but still pretty good. Makes the climb much safer to get that full heal there. Ack, what are you doing? Where are you going?
Big chest.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, so the GT big chest is so easy to forget about, since you never ever open it, barring extremely uncommon circumstances and no glitches. And yet, here, you can have the Ice Rod. Yep, very fun. So yeah, so that's a very good call by on Ack's part to go and get the GT big chest. Which is actually why, if we get a choice, we usually like to do the right side first, because it flows more naturally into getting the big chest. But that is a magic powder. Could very well be required.
So let's see, with the fire rod in hand, we can get into ice and Skullwoods now. So, oh, as well as Tower of Hera, which was fire locked.
Yeah, we can actually get into every dungeon and finish all of them except for Turtle Rock. So yeah, we're in an Ice Rod Go mode once again. Oh joy.
But as far as I have found, it's always the hunt for that last item that takes the longest, it seems.
Alright, so Fuzzy is, I assume, going to go get the pesky purple chest that has been holding his hammer the entire seed. And he runs right past Bottle Vendor once again. That magic mirror is going to be really, really, really trolly if it's required. That is just the location that you're like, I would never skip that, right?
I mean, required or not, at this point, it has definitely cost Fuzzy quite some time.
Yeah, just not having the mirror at all is just rough for routing, even if it's not hard required for Swamp Palace.
Not to mention not having that hammer forced Fuzzy to do some DMDs. Which, if you have to go up to Death Mountain just to come back down, it does take quite some time.
Yeah, a lot of routing is actually can be aimed around avoiding trips up DM, even though it's pretty fast. Still don't want to do it if you can avoid it, so we do a lot of stuff by clipping around the Dark World just to avoid it. Which is another reason why dying in a dungeon is so bad, is because it puts you in fake Dark World. And if you don't have the mirror, then you won't be able to get out of it without a save and quit.
So, both helmet chests, no ice rod there.
And FuzzyGames runs past the bottle vendor once again. I am wondering how many times he's walked past bottle vendor in this seed.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to take the bottle vendor putting up a sign saying mirrors for sale.
I mean, bottles are reflective, right? They're made of glass. So if you look into one.
And we
Ack,
get
what
a
are you
mushroom.
doing? Ack, what are you doing?
I guess is gonna ultimate disrespect Moldorm 2 by not only killing him, but then hovering across.
No, the ultimate disrespect is equipping the hookshot and then hovering.
True that.
So here is Aghanim 2. If you're just tuning in, we are nowhere near the end of this seed, since Aghanim 2 is not necessarily the end for an Overworld Glitches seed. We still have many more crystal dungeons to complete, and more items to collect.
And Ack giving Aga 2 a little sprinkle of the powder. So Aga 2 is down. Back to the pyramid we go, and where is Ack gonna head from here? Options are kind of wide open.
The 1 hour and 15 minutes back of front of Escape. This is, in fact, the front of Escape.
Now this is as good a time as any. Whenever you're on, that's kind of what I do if I ever end up on the pyramid. That's pretty much when I do this.
So we've got someone new to randomizers and speed gaming. So we, as the mysterious voices, shall explain all. So I'm Espion, and my co-com is HXC Jetters, and together we are commentating the A Link to the Past randomizer race between FuzzyGames and Acktheboker. So this is actually not a more typical randomizer race. This one employs various overworld glitches. Most randomizer races are no glitches, and so you will very commonly see those on the SpeedGaming channels. However, we are currently doing an Overworld Glitches tournament, so for the next couple of weeks you will be seeing a lot more Overworld Glitches than normal. And so the entire point of a randomizer is that all of the items are shuffled wildly around in the game, put in all different chests, and our runners need to collect all the items they need to finish the 7 crystal dungeons, as well as Aghanim to Ganon's Tower, which FuzzyGames is in right now.
Yep, and there are a total of 216 locations in the game that are valid placements for items. So any chest, boss drop, or just kind of items sitting there laying out there in the world, there could be an item there from any dungeon, anywhere, anytime.
And only one of those chests has the ice rod, which Acktheboker is currently looking for in order to reach go mode and be able to finish all the remaining dungeons. Meanwhile, we've got FuzzyGames moving through Ganon's Tower, going to be able to pick up the lamp and fire rod on his way. But he is still missing the mirror from the bottle vendor. Hopefully not a critical item.
Alright, so Ack is headed back up Death Mountain. Oh, gonna finish Hera here. And Ack is doing the good old tile room, but deciding not to take a coffee break. Meanwhile, Fuzzy is past Rando Room and headed over to Bob's chest. And Ack is going to get the big key here, and then going to show us what is in the Tower of Hera. Alright, Fuzzy taking care of Armos on Ice, everyone's favorite musical / performance group.
He is not actually going to finish Ganon's Tower, or maybe save and quitting and going to come back around, or just going to Hera. So that is an interesting choice. And Ack is facing down Trolldorm at the top of Tower of Hera, while Fuzzy is braving the tile room in the basement. So Ack has successfully defeated Molorm and is going to meme by attempting to hover across the pit, and pays the price for his meme, falling down 2 floors. Come on, man.
Yeah, they don't call that the penalty box for nothing.
And actually, even after having killed Moldorm, he's gonna respawn because the game does not actually track that a boss is defeated until you pick up the boss drop. So in vanilla, it would be the heart container, but here, of course, it's randomized, and so Moldorm doesn't actually count as dead until that's done. So when Ack falls down before he collects the boss drop, it just respawns Moldorm.
You know, I've never experienced this, but what happens if you pick up the boss drop, but don't pick up the pendant or crystal and then leave? Is the pendant or crystal just still sitting there when you come back?
What actually happens is it falls down again when you come back into the room. So you can only do that in vanilla. You can only do that in Moldorm's room, actually, because in every other boss room, after you kill the boss, you can't take damage and you can't mirror. You won't be able to menu, you won't be able to take any damage from any spikes or anything. And so you usually have no choice but to just grab the crystal or pendant.
I see. Alright, so I think Ack is going to head to Skull Woods now. Perhaps. And FuzzyGames is going to take on Moldorm here. Oh, Ack's going to check that magic bat first. Alright, what shall our curse today be?
Oh, cursed with the wrong type of ice magic.
Yeah, we are cursed with the power to freeze our enemies, but with a coin form and not a rod form.
Ack going to activate that flute. I mean, not exactly a very required item. We've got someone asking about being required for Turtle Rock entry. But you see, this is Overworld glitches, and we don't care about the Turtle Rock medallion. In fact, it's so useless that opening the front door of Turtle Rock is a meme and a waste of time. So it literally doesn't matter, we don't care.
I think it might be possible to force it if all the keys are on Laser Bridge.
It is not possible to force it. Oh, FuzzyGames. Oh no. Okay, everything's okay. So FuzzyGames almost got a really bad soft lock. It was actually a hard lock, where if you start dashing on the frame the Wallmaster picks you up, it actually hard locks your game. That was really scary, but he's okay. Just losing time. What was I saying? All right, laser bridge. So it is not possible to force someone to open the entrance. It is it can be required by logic. So if you use keys incorrectly, you can have to, but that's pretty rare. Act covering the pit, because why not?
Alright, so Ack gonna check this chest here and head off to the Moth. Meanwhile, Fuzzy picking up the big key and we'll be headed up to the top of Ganon's Tower. But not before checking that big chest.
No, hovering is never required because it's hard and I can't do it.
Yeah, even in no logic, hovering is...
You can't say anything about no logic.
That...
In no logic, a lot of things are maybe required. Hovering is a glitch. That is not exactly arguable. Fuzzy almost crashed his game. That was very scary. Jeez. Okay, so Fuzzy is just being very, very risky today. Yeah, if you die on the same frame that you fall down a hole, and the hole does not send you to another place, like it sends you back to the beginning of the room, that is a crash. And so, yeah, Fuzzy. Oh god, don't do it again. Okay, that was so scary. I need to tell Fuzzy about that afterwards, otherwise he might do it again and then actually crash.
Maybe that's the intent. Those good old crash the game strats.
Ack has finished Skullwoods now. Still no Ice Rod, though.
Emmy94 asking, why did Ack do Aga? That's Aga 2. The Overworld Glitch Tournament has a unique feature on our tracker. We have Aga 1 and Aga 2 labeled because you can complete Aga 2 prior to... Oh, look at that. There's the Ice Rod.
Okay. So, that is go mode for Acktheboker. 1:27:30-ish. Did not catch the exact time. But we are going to get to go mode Ice Palace. A wonderful thing. So that does mean, actually, that the mirror is not required for anything. However, it was, of course, being the mirror, it is very, very, very useful.
Alright, Ack's gonna check this chest anyway. Might be looking for another sword here.
Oh yeah, he's still on Master Sword, so that makes perfect sense. He will almost certainly get the sword at Laser Bridge. I can't imagine him passing that up if he's going to check chests for swords, so he'll be in good shape for Silverless Ganon.
No, that's the one he has. The one he missed was the one in Pod.
Oh. Wait, did he go to Laser Bridge? I legitimately don't remember this.
He did.
Ooh, so that's going to be a little bit rough then, unless he can find the sword somewhere. And he's also got no half magic. Fortunately, he has a lot of bottles.
Alright, Fuzzy facing off Moldorm 2. And... oh, almost getting the 0 cycle. Just one fire rod shot away. Alright. And Ack on his way to Cold Stare. From here, we'll only need to complete Turtle Rock and then head back down to Ganon. And if Ack knows the Turtle Rock Laser Bridge wrap, might be able to get to it a bit quicker.
He is going to first have to deal, though, with Master Sword and Hammer Cold Stare. Fortunately, he has a lot of hearts and red mail, so he should be able to take a bunch of hits. Plus, he probably, I think, has a fairy lying around in one of those bottles that he has.
Yeah, there was 1 fairy and 3 bees, I think. Ack rewarded with his 6th crystal and a key. Off we go to fight Trinex.
Oh, Fuzzy just reminded me that we still have the mushroom. We haven't turned it in yet, so because Ack does not have very many safeties for Ganon, he probably wants to buy potions beforehand in case he misses too many Fire Rod shots, which means that he might actually turn in the mushroom in hopes of getting a sword upgrade, so we will maybe get to see what's on there too.
I mean, Ack could always just meme us all and do AGA 1 for the silvers.
There is no way that is worth the time.
Not worth the time, no, but Ack does love his memes.
Only hover memes. Yeah, they are both using the BS sprites. It sounds really awful when I say it like that, but Ack, what are you doing? Ack, wake up.
I think Ack is trying to do the mirror wrap.
Yeah, definitely looks like it. He's putting down a bomb, so that knocks him over to transition. And so what he needs to do now is apparently stand in place.
He must be looking up how to do it.
Okay, so he does execute the mirror wrap, but I think he might actually be too high. Yeah, he's too high, so okay, that's a soft lock. The mirror wrap requires fairly precise positioning. You need to be on only one of a couple pixels will allow it to work. And so that was significantly too high, actually. So he will need to attempt it again. Fortunately, he does have a significant buffer period before Fuzzy gets around to the same point. Although it looks to me, actually, that Fuzzy is heading over to Skullwoods now, so he will be in go mode as well shortly.
And Ack and Fuzzy forgetting the bottle vendor again.
Fortunately, it doesn't matter, but oof. We gotta tell him about that after the seed.
Fuzzy just didn't want to spend the money.
He only has 1,700 rupees.
So will Ack try it again? Nope.
Aww.
I'd say maybe give it a second try. Because if you do get it, it'll save you a bunch of time, but Puzzle Master Mirror is rarely required. Even in normal seeds that don't involve glitches, Mirror is rarely required. It's only if
Well, you need to have the context here in that if Swamp is a pendant, then Mirror is rarely required. But Swamp is usually a crystal, so in that case, Mirror is very frequently required. Well, I was actually thinking of major glitches modes when I said that, in which Mirror is not actually required because you can bypass it with a specific setup. But in Overworld glitches, if Swamp is a crystal, then you do need the mirror to get in.
Handpans, yes, Bottle Vendor can have pretty much any item in the game. Bottle Vendor is not hard to check. It's something that people usually will check. It's just one of those times that it just happened to escape Fuzzy. And Trinex, the Firehead, given all the dodge strats today.
Yeah, Bottle Vendor has mirror, but Fuzzy completely skipped it in early game and then never got it and passed by it probably about 20 times.
Very nicely done on Acktheboker side. Killing Trinex, and we'll be off to Ganon. And it looks like we're going to get a Master Sword fight, perhaps, without the silvers.
And there is Fuzzy's Ice Rod, putting him into go mode at 137.37. Nice time. Ack, that is going to be a soft walk. Although, you can actually mirror there, and you will be put into the light worlds and be able to... Fuzzy, what are you doing?
Using the oft overlooked fairy garden behind Link's house. I guess Fuzzy is headed to Ice now.
Yeah, this mirror right now is not required. Other runners have not really sequence broken anything except for the lamp. So the mirror was not really required, although it was an extremely useful routing tool for the entire game, so I would say that it served Ack very well.
Yep.
Ice Rod was in back of Skullwoods. So both runners have it now. And we are going to see a low percent Ganon fight. We just have the Master Sword. As far as I know, we don't have any bottles filled with potions. We don't have the silver arrows. So this is going to be a test of endurance on Ack's part.
Is it truly low percent when he's got red mail?
Okay, fine, but that shouldn't matter.
But you are correct that this fight is a test of endurance. No matter what gear setup you have when you've got just Master Sword, the issue becomes just staying on target and just paying attention to what you're doing and not making any mistakes, because it's a long fight and you're going to need all the health you can.
Yeah, being able to get Ganon up in that corner there is really useful. Going to be able to do a bunch of spins on him while he's making that fire bat circle. Ganon giving Ack a lot of warps. Although he will finally progress out of phase 3 and into phase 4. So this is the scary part. This is the silverless part. If you run out of magic here, you are just screwed. Ack is going to go for using the lamp instead, which is much safer. The lamp consumes a lot less magic. It is a bit slower since you have to walk over every time to light the torch.
Yeah, and with this, you can get about 2 spins off per torch lighting. Sometimes you can get lucky and get 3, or if you use the fire rod, you can kind of time it to get 3 out.
And Fuzzy here on Cold Stare with the Tempered Sword, going to make quicker work than Ack had. Double damage output counts for a lot in this fight.
And I do believe Axe still has that fairy, so... Alright. Fuzzy is headed off to Mire, perhaps, and Ack takes down Ganon.
Raising that Master Sword in the air in triumph. Get your GGs in for Ack once he crosses that bridge.
And Acktheboker finishing in first place with a official SRL time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 59 seconds. Get your GGs in the chat for Ack. So we will see Fuzzy continue on, and we will try to get Ack in here for an interview.
And here he is now, GG Ack. Ack, are you there?
Oh, GG. Thank you.
Okay, we have him now. So, what are your thoughts on that seed?
I think I need to brush up on my glitch compendium a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. Well, the biggest one, I would say, is, or at least the 2 big ones are Mire to TR and the Smith YBA. We're in the Smith YBA. It's good.
I mean, I knew how to do both of them in theory, but yeah, when you go up, I guess on certain spots, you get stuck. I was looking up, trying to figure out how to do it without getting stuck, because I remember that was always my problem, but I just don't play enough of this mode, I guess. It's hard to retain that stuff to memory when I haven't played since the last tournament.
Yeah, that's fair, since there's a lot of weird stuff that you just gotta remember. But yeah, that hammer in purple chest, the whole seed kind of revolved around getting the stuff for that.
Yeah, I guess it did with where the fire sources were. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It was really neat. You got a hint for that earlier. It made like routing really cool. I had a really fun route to get the hammer in a timely manner, and then I got stuck in a tree. So here goes your.
Yeah, and although Fuzzy actually did not get the Eastern hint for a while, probably like an hour or so. I wasn't exactly counting.
Did you just not check hints, or did you just not go to Eastern?
No, he just didn't go to Eastern. I think he wanted to do it with Pod, but he never got the mirror.
Wait, where was the mirror?
Mirror's on Bottle Vendor. He never got it.
No!
Fortunately, mirror was not required for anything at all in the seed. He didn't have to go into Swamp Palace at all. So, while it didn't prevent him from finishing the seed because he's now in go mode, it did hinder his routing a lot. So he wasn't able to clear a lot of things nearly as well. You lose a lot of routing efficiency without mirror, obviously, and so that hurt a lot, I think.
Oh, dude, absolutely. The mirror is really important. I think especially in this, because you never really had like a place that, I don't know, like you were going places, but you wanted to keep the route going, and yeah, without the mirror, that would have been really annoying the whole seed. Dang, that sucks. Well, at least he didn't have to go in the swamp, but, you know, I didn't either.
Yeah, swamp sucks, so that's good.
Yeah, so I think we have a question. Take us through your plan on that early Lake Hylia routing. We're trying to figure out what had you going all over the place.
I just like to do things that are different. I mean, I don't know. You start with the boots. You can use them. It gets you some early items, but it does have some trade-offs, especially when Zora has something good, which seems to be like every time I do the Act Gambit. So
Mitts are not good. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, admittingly, the mitts you could skip here, but they were quite helpful. And then, I mean, if anything, that having the Zora glove be your first glove would have been really nice. I don't know. I was glad to have found those mitts. I mean, I knew I was going to find them soon, but
Yeah. I think the routing was actually pretty cool. You delayed a CAC a lot, but it really didn't have too much useful, except for the bow. And so you just went and did other stuff.
There was something that made me change my mind too. I think I was planning on going to CAC, and then I didn't do it. I don't know what it was. But there was something that I was like, you know what, never mind. Yeah, I have no idea, I can't remember.
I don't know, there was nothing useful in, there's nothing useful in Lost Woods, I think. The only thing that you got was, like, Bottle and Bonk Rocks, but I would imagine that would pull you to CAC.
I don't even remember what it's very hard to describe my route, considering half the time I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I don't know, that just sounds like
I think it was... I think what I thought, I got the bottle, but it was a bottle with bees, and then that made Mini Moldorm Cave look a little bit more exciting.
Bottle. Really, it's the bee bottle, the important factor in routing.
Hey, you know, you gotta take what you can get sometimes, but this is a really bad habit, but I don't like going to the desert area so early, even though, like, in this mode, it seems like that area is always stacked. But I always try to see if I could find a couple more pieces before I go.
Yeah, honestly, going to desert is kind of like, I guess, the standard opener if you're not super familiar with glitches, because it lets you do the CAC opening first. But honestly, trying to delay desert until you have gloves at least, or the ability to complete desert, is usually a pretty good idea, I think.
Yeah, it's really the glove, just so you can get that checkerboard cave check, I think. But thanks for stepping up and doing commentary. I know looks like it's pretty tough for that right now. There's so many matches in this tournament relative to the last tournament.
Yeah. We actually we pulled the crew together at about 20 minutes before we went live.
Yeah, I finished my race and then came straight here.
I was wondering about that because I was pretty sure I was like watching you play while I was in the SRL room rating, and I was like, "Is he doing commentary? Like what?"
Yep.
Yeah, appreciate it as always, guys. Oh, I guess I had one other question. Where was his tempered sword?
Pod.
Okay, that makes sense. And I saw in the credits the other one was the pedestal there. So
Yeah,
lovely.
pedestal sword.
I felt like I did so much, and then I'm like, dang, I felt like I did a lot of the seed, and then it's Master Sword, Silverless Ganon, of course. How did we get here?
And no half magic, of course.
Yeah.
So we're about to see Fuzzy take on the big pig here. He's got that tempered sword, so we'll have a little bit easier of a time taking that Ganon guy down.
Awesome, but thanks again, guys. I'll let you finish up here with them, but appreciate it as always.
Yep. So, FuzzyGames will be coming up on Ganon in just a little bit now. All he has to do is head over to the pyramid, drop down the hole that already is there.
All right, Ganon time. And if you haven't already, I'm sure these runners would appreciate a follow. FuzzyGames and Acktheboker, so links in the chat for that. And so we're gonna come up on this Ganon fight here, and hopefully FuzzyGames has no falls and no deaths.
Yep, we got tempered sword this time, so it's going to be a good bit faster.
Very nicely done so far. A couple more slashes here should push him into phase 3. And now comes the Ganon, please sit still so I can hit you phase. Alrighty, and now we are on phase 4. The important part is getting that torch glitch. Very key when you don't have half magic. And even when you do have half magic, still kind of want it for a silverless fight.
Not making use of the fire rod here. Lamp is definitely safer since you don't have to worry about your magic consumption nearly as much, but the fire rod does let you get doubles or triples significantly more easily.
Yeah, patience is the key to beating a silverless Ganon. And down goes the big pig. So all Fuzzy Games has to do is cross that bridge, and we will get you that official second place time. And Fuzzy Games finishing with a second place time of 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 47 seconds. Get your GGs in chat for Fuzzy Games. And we will see if Fuzzy wants to do an interview as well. Alright, it does look like Fuzzy is going to join us. And we will have to inform Fuzzy of where that mirror actually was. It looks like we got a 153 collection rate on Axe side.
Alright, we got Fuzzy Games here with us. GG.
Hey, GG. Thank you so much.
Okay. Would you like to know where the magic mirror is?
I would. Yeah, I'm very curious.
Alright, so the magic mirror is on the bottle vent.
Oh, neat. I guess I never ended up checking that because I never had the money for it. So.
No.
Well, early on at least.
Yeah, you just didn't have the money on the first trip through CAC. And then I think you just forgot about it for the 20 plus trips through Kakariko later.
Yeah, I mean, it just. There was so much to check that it was hard to keep track of everything. So.
Listen, mirrors aren't worth 100 rupees. I stand by your decision to not purchase it.
Well, if I had known it was there, I probably would have picked it up. Yeah, that explains a lot, because I thought it was kind of weird to have the hint in Eastern about the specialist for getting the hammer.
Yeah, that too was really interesting. So what happened was the dichotomy was pretty interesting. So you wound up getting mitts fairly early compared to Ack. He went gloveless for a long time actually, but he had the hint much earlier than you did. So
yeah.
So you wound up looking for the hammer while having the mitts, and he wound up looking for the mitts while knowing where the hammer was.
Oh, and I don't even like when I got the mitts. I was actually really disappointed because I don't need them for anything, because I know the mirror wrap for Ice Palace, so so they're not required for pretty much anything.
Aha, but how will you do the mirror wrap if you have no mirror?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if I had gotten the mirror, I would have. Yeah.
There's a bottle way and a flipper's way to get into ice. Actually, they're relatively new. Actually,
yeah. They seem complicated.
Yeah, they're a good bit more complicated than the other the standard ice method. So they're not as well known, but they are very useful in case you can't find the mirror.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess if it's usually a check that I get out of the way early, but I didn't really get any items at the beginning, so that kind of just made me forget about it, because I usually don't have to check anything in Kakariko after the first like 10 minutes. So, yeah. I mean, other than that, once I found the hint in Eastern, once I ran out of all the other things to check. Then yeah, I just felt like it kind of flowed after that. But I knew it was later than my opponent without even seeing. So
yeah. Also, one thing I would like to bring up is the several heart attacks that you gave me in Ganon's Tower when you were falling down on the right side, going through the fire bars room. I don't know if you know, but if you die on the same frame, you fall down a hole, you hard lock the game.
Oh, no,
So, it's very bad and scary. So I just wanted to let you know, because I think you were about a frame off from hard locking the game twice.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
I assumed that how the items were laid out, that big chest was probably something, and that it was making me go through right side to get the big key, even though I had to complete left side to get any of the items to get to right side. So it just
Yeah,
it
that
seemed,
was good. Both fire sources.
yeah, that was wonderful. And yeah, so I assumed, and then after trying to just get through that fire bar room, I was just like, never mind. Like, if I lose because of this, I think I'm okay with it.
Honestly, yeah, that room is just awful. Magic powder was in there actually, although didn't lead to anything. Well,
Okay.
led to ether. Led to ether, but that's not.
It wasn't required, yeah. Yeah, I mean, at some point, I think when I was able to just do Skullwoods, I realized I was in go mode at some point. And so I just go moded Ice Palace and Mire, but it was 10
you're in
minutes
go
too
mode.
late.
Yeah, I mean, you're in go mode once you pick up the Ice Rod and Skullwoods.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. Yeah. I wasn't going to check that chest either, and I'm so glad I did. And once I saw that, I was like, okay, yeah, we're good.
So, I couldn't help but notice. So what ended up happening was Ack never ended up going to pods, so had to do a Master Sword Silverless Ganon. And I noticed as the credits were scrolling, where the fourth sword was, it was on the pedestal.
And if I had Mirror, I would have checked Ped. That crossed my mind, but like, since I didn't have the mirror, I was just like, whatever. If it's required, I'll scour every other spot and then come back for it. But it was a lovely seed.
Yeah, it's one of those middle of the road seeds. Not too bad, not easy. So kind of right down the middle, I think.
Yeah, this one could have been pretty fun actually. If you wound up like doing the YBA for Smiths and didn't like miss mirror, I guess. So it could have been really interesting, I think, with the Smith YBA, since then you don't have to get mitts, and mitts are bad.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I mean, it would have been tough if Hammer had been in the chest and I didn't have mitts, because I know of that YBA, I've seen it done, but I've never actually tried it, so I probably would have soft locked while trying it.
Yeah, golden rule is don't do a glitch until you've practiced it off stream or not in a race, because doing a glitch for the first time on a restream is not a good idea. You will inevitably fail it.
Yeah, I don't always follow that rule, but that's a good rule to live by.
Yeah. Yeah, you both tried some glitches that looked like you weren't familiar with them, so and we saw some soft locks. So it's always entertaining for the crowd to see some soft locks, but at least you didn't hard lock.
Yeah.
Hard locks are bad. Don't do them.
Oh yeah. No, I think with how often I saved and quit, I don't think I had to worry too much. But yeah. So yeah, it was a pretty fun match.
Yep.
All right. I think that pretty much wraps up all we've got to say. So,
Cool.
if either of you have any last words to say about the seed or about the game.
I would just thank the commentary. I'm sure you guys did great, and thank the tracker, and thank you SpeedGaming and the audience. I hope we put on a good show for you guys, and yeah, thanks.
Yep. And make sure to give these runners a follow, FuzzyGames and Acktheboker. also follow my co-commentator Espeon65536 and our tracker Samimus. And we've also got some more speed gaming action going on the Speed Gaming main. We've got the All Boards No Swords Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament. Jay Coper versus Dig Shake. And the Zelda 1 multi-category 100% no up plus A qualifiers happening on Speed Gaming 2. And those just kicked off, so you're not missing much. Any final words, Espeon?
Nope, I'm good. So thank you all for being a great audience. See you next time. And I've been Espeon with HXC Jetters, and